Good morning. This is Rashad Mitchell comes to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on my part series, The Week That Was College Football History Review, the 1976 college football season. This is week 2. I'll be talking about the games that I played on September 18th, 1976. Let's get into it. We're going to start with Brown beating Yale 14-6. Now, Bruins held on for victory behind don't break defense. Yale made no second half scoring despite marching into Brown territory 5 times. Passed Brown 3-yard line 4 times. Bruins converted 1 of 4 Eli fumbles into 15-yard drive, so 11-yard touchdown pass by quarterback Paul Machako to halfback Bill Hill. Then marched 74 yards to 33 yards, scoring run by wide receiver Charlie Watkins in third quarter. So Yale touchdown 3-yard keeper by quarterback Stone Phillips was set up by Bruins punt. A snap was sent wrongly to tight end Fred Palsek, who fell on it on own 15-yard line. Yale tailback John Peligro rushed for 114 yards as offense gained 320 yards. Maryland beat West Virginia by a score of 24-3. Maryland was number 10 in the country. They beat West Virginia 24-3. Quarterback Mark Manges led Maryland to an easy win. They won 31-yard scoring pass to wide wingback Chuck White, rushing for 2-yard touchdown. Now, the Terps totaled 422 yards with 133 yards rushing by tailback Steve Atkins, who scored the team's second touchdown on a 15-yard run. Mountaineers were stumped by Maryland's defense, rushing for 25 yards, scoring only on a 29-yard field goal by kicker Bill McKenzie. Quarterback Dan Kendra completed 12 for 19, 132 yards. It was picked off twice and lost fumble on Terp's 27-yard line when hammered by Maryland defensive end Chip Garber. Next, South Carolina defeated Duke 24-6. Freshman quarterback Steve Swinehart came off the Gamecocks bench to spur the victory, throwing 36-yard scoring pass to wide receiver Phil Logan and racing 57 yards to set up own 1-yard touchdown keeper. South Carolina quarterback Ron Bass had led teams to 10 first quarter points before succumbing to knee injury. Blue Devils tailback Art Gore scored a 10-yard touchdown run, still pulled within 10-6 before Swinehart took over. Gore rushed for 105 yards for Duke offense that finished with 182 yards total. USC tailback Clarence Williams added 91 yards rushing. Now, this was a great showdown here. This next game we'll be talking about. It was number 2 Ohio State versus number 7 Penn State. It was about 2 top 10 teams, where number 2 Ohio State beat number 7 Penn State 12-7. Ohio State made smooth transition from 4 years of Archie Griffin to tailback Jeff Logan, who ran for 160 yards behind the big boys up front. Logan logged 48 yards run to set up the first Buckeyes touchdown. As 8-yard run by quarterback Rod Gerald, Ohio State had only 35 yards to travel for its winning score after Penn State defensive back Neil Hutton foolishly returned a short field goal try from his end zone to 3-yard line, spot from which Lions punted 4 downs later. Bucks sub wingback Bob Hyatt scored on an 8-yard run with pitch out for 12-0 lead in the fourth quarter. Nittany Lions marched 87 yards to fullback Matt Suey's 1-yard dive, but could not overcome vital blown chances, lost fumble and end zone pick by safety Ray Griffin to kill 2 drives that reached Ohio State 5-yard line. Now Penn State offset 280 yards rushing by Buckeyes by having quarterback John Andress pass more than normal. Next, Michigan, the number 1 team in the country, beat Stanford 51-0. Can't Wolverines play any better? They had 2 turnovers, but considering how often they pitched the ball, that was to be expected. As halfback Harlan Huckabee had 151 yards rushing, 16 carries and a touchdown that led the rushing attack that gained 531 yards with 5 different players topping 70 yards. Fullback Russell Davis had 116 yards rushing, 7 carries, 2 touchdowns, while halfback Rob Lytle had 19 carries, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns, also topping the 100-yard mark. Now, Michigan defense posted shutout, although it allowed 314 yards with Stanford quarterback Guy Benjamin returned from injury to throw for 236 yards. Michigan safety Dwight Hicks was Benjamin's chief nemesis, with interception deflection that prompted another interception, 3 pass breakups, forced fumble, and 5 tackles, although Benjamin drove Cardinals into Michigan red zone 3 times. He could not prevent school's first shutout since 1967. Next, this was a shutout as Notre Dame, the number, it wasn't ranked Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat Purdue. They wasn't ranked either, 23 to nothing. The Irish, or Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, bounced back from opening loss with in-state rivals. Notre Dame halfback Al Hunter rushed for 96 yards and threw a 33-yard touchdown pass to the halfback Mark McGlane. Touchdown, failed fake punt by Boilermakers that ended on a tackle by cornerback Luther Bradley or punter Dave Egan for 12-yard loss at Purdue 38-yard line. Purdue's best chance to score came at the end of first half when time expired with wide receiver Reggie Arnold falling after a 30-yard catch. Notre Dame pulled away with 2 touchdowns in the second half, including a 2-yard scoring run by Hunter. The Boilermakers tailback Scott Durkin rushed for 93 yards. Next, Illinois beat Missouri 31-6. Missouri Tigers uncountably followed up their upset of USC with flat performance at home, as Illinois tailback James Coleman ran for 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, and quarterback Kurt Steger twice threw, scoring past the wide receiver Eric Rouse. Rouse supplied exclamation point when he caught ball at Illinois 45-yard line, raced the end zone for 74-yard scoring play that gave Illinois a 24-6 lead. In the third quarter, Missouri was outgained 418 yards to 257 yards as quarterback Steve Bizarkowicz was hampered by injured shoulder. Fullback Packy Watson led Tigers with 10 carries for 67 yards. Missouri was number 6 in the country as they got upset by Illinois. Yeah, Missouri is ranked number 6 coming into this game. Arkansas beat Oklahoma State 16-10. Arkansas was ranked number 12 in the country. They beat Oklahoma State 16-10. It's not often kickers dominate the games, but Arkansas punter kicker Steve Little was no run-of-mill kicker because Little beat Cowboys with field goals of 57 yards, 53 yards, and 20 yards. He punted for 46-yard average and hit 5 unreturnable kickoffs. Little sandwiches 2 longest to date field goals around 16-yard touchdown run by running back Jerry Eckwood for a 13-3 third quarter lead. Running back Ben Cowens led Razorbacks a ground game with 163 yards on 17 carries. Hogs defense led by 17 tackles from linebacker Curtis Townsend. Held Oklahoma State halfback Terry Miller to 47 yards rushing and allows only touchdown with only seconds left in game on 7-yard run by fullback Skip Taylor. Cowboys 5 turnovers contributed to failure to extend 3-game series win streak. Colorado beat Washington 21-7. Was the final score between Colorado over Washington. And it was downhill from opening kickoff for Huskies, which, as it turned out, they fumbled. Colorado safety Chuck McCarter recovered fumble by Washington tailback Stan Wilson on 17-yard line instead of opening 1-yard touchdown run by fullback Jim Keller. Buffaloes doubled their scoring total on quarterback Jeff Austin's 1-yard run and behind rush attack that churned up 256 yards. Huskies made short trip to fullback Robin Earl's 1-yard touchdown dive in the second quarter. Huskies needed possession to rally, but Colorado held it for most of the second half as Buffaloes had no turnovers. Colorado wingback Emery Moorhead scored clinching touchdown pitch out. He took the end zone from 12-yard line. Now, that concludes a look at the games that were played for Week 2. The games that were played on September 18th, 1976. Week 2. Now, the AP poll of September 20th, you had Texas Tech at number 20, Southern California at number 19, Boston College at number 18, 17 Mississippi State, 16 North Carolina, 15 Louisiana State, 14 Illinois, 13 Alabama, 12 Arkansas, and number 11 Penn State. Now the top 10 round out is this: number 10 Kansas, number 9 Texas A&M, 8 Maryland, 7 Georgia, 6 Nebraska. The top 5 round out is this: number 5 UCLA, number 4 Oklahoma, number 3 Pittsburgh, and number 2 Ohio State, and number 1 was Michigan. Second cruise look at week number 2. College football history review, 1976. College football season for September 18th. The games that are played during September the 18th, 1976, week 2. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Do the video this magnitude tomorrow. Until then, talk to you soon.